Well, hello. We have not delved into my record collection in a while, but I found this one. And since we've been talking about Colonel Sanders and KFC a few times lately, I thought this would be fun to take a look at. Turn in the century with Colonel Sanders. Join the founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken on a musical excursion back through the delightful days of his youth. I got some images here. Look at this. Compliments of Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it says this is Patricia Jennings. That's Ted Bowers. I've actually heard that name. I believe he's on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And then Carrie Moorman, Moorman. And they recreate the musical stylings of the early 1900s. Colonel Sanders and the Kentucky Fried Chicken story. In 1954, Colonel Harlan Sanders, then 65 years old, had three assets, $105 Social Security check. I think we've all heard this story. Colonel Sanders asked Mr. Bowers to combine a few highlights from this album with a special Kentucky Fried Chicken song, and behold, this special album is just for the Colonel's friends. I don't know if this is a 45. This has a small hole. Usually 45s have the big hole, but they are usually this side. No, this is 33 1/3. So this is the B side. Do the A side first.
Colonel Sanders, you really did have a lot of fun in the old days. But what did you do for entertainment around your home before radio and television?
Well, Carrie, in those days, singing around the player piano was all the rage, or listening to the Edison cylinder phonograph. But my mother's favorite was this old music box.
It's the Colonel's mother's music box. This kind of music always sounds like very familiar, but I can't place it. Let's see if it says here. After the Ball, followed by All Alone, and then By the Light of the Silvery Moon. So I know that song. I remember that from the Muppets, right? By the light, by the light. Yeah,
beautiful.
Muppet Vision 3D.
I always enjoyed it. Oh, there were a lot of things that I enjoyed. Swimming in the mill pond, going buggy riding with your best girl, and if you had the coin to burn, taking her to the local vaudeville theater on Saturday night. That was Jim Dandy.
So you go to the vaudeville.
Hello, Central, give me 603. Please don't keep me waiting here. I want to talk with Margie, dear. Hello, Margie, goodness gracious me.
Well, now at last you've got me, dear. This is your Margie.
I've been trying hard all day to get you on the phone to say,
What?
Are you all alone?
Yes.
All alone?
Yes, there's nobody here but me.
Well, is the parlor nice and cozy?
Everything is rosy.
We'll have lots
Oh,
of...
hurry up and get here, honey.
I'll take a trolley car.
Now you can walk. It's not far.
But my time is all my own.
Then hurry up. There's something missing.
We'll have lots of kissing. Bye.
Oh, left us all alone. Hello, Georgie.
Yes?
Hello, George. Can't
They're all
go out
alone.
tonight.
But do you want to see a show or dinner?
Goodness gracious, no. Do not coax me. It provokes me. Nothing you can say will get me to come out tonight. Home I'm going to stay. I want you to come right up here and show me how you love me, dear.
This is similar to Baby It's Cold Outside, you know, and this is the old style way of romance. She would say, "Oh no, I don't think so," and he'd say, "Yes, I believe so." I think they talk that way too.
Are you all alone?
Yes.
All alone?
Yes, there's nobody here but me.
Where is the parlor? Nice and cozy.
Everything is rosy.
We'll have lots
Oh,
of...
hurry up and get here, honey.
I'll take a trolley car.
Now you can walk. It's not far.
But my time is all my own.
Then hurry up. There's something missing.
We'll have lots of kissing. Ma and Pa have left us all alone.
Lots of kissing.
The best part of Saturday night was the walk home.
I want to walk home with Colonel Sanders. Yeah, so this is By the Light of the Silvery Moon. And this song, it feels like Main Street USA at Disneyland. It's like that turn of the century music, which I guess all of this is. But this one definitely feels like one they play. In Muppet Vision 3D, they have the 3Ds, which is a musical group. It's like Doris, Dorothy, and then the guy goes, and I'm Max. You know, Dolores got sick or whatever. And then they do by the light of the silvery moon, not the sun, but the moon. I'm going to miss that Muppet Vision 3D. There's a weird thing. Now the camera's even weirder, but like I've had friends over and I play a record for them. It's this awkward thing where you don't know where to look. So usually you look at the album cover, but we've already read this. That, by the way, same image of him that they were using on the buckets. Yeah, the bio they give of him, very simple. I did a very thorough bio of his entertainment work, which I think is very interesting. Did not include this. All right, well, that was very good. That's very good. We got side 2, and we're just listening to the whole thing. We'll see if there's, I don't know how protective American Eagle is of the turn of the century with Colonel Sanders album. So we'll see if they get there's a couple different types of copyright strikes. I'll tell you all about them. I'll tell you all about it. It'll be very exciting. Give us something to talk about during the songs. All right, let's see if the Colonel's back here at the beginning.
Yep, number 9's on time. I better open the store and sweep off the steps.
Guess this is the corner store, the general store. Go down there and get a...
Well, toot and scramble,
sarsaparilla.
here he comes.
Little white piece of lint there. Why didn't you tell me? I feel like a fool.
Howdy, Calvin. I see you got a gun again.
It's old Schwartz in his Huckmobile.
Darnation, they'll never get me in one of those fool contraptions. Heh.
Howdy, folks. This is Colonel Sanders. And say, that old-timer we just heard reminds me of my Uncle Hart. He used to run the general store down in Henryville when
This says Colonel's Cracklins. Colonel's talking about his Uncle Hart. I don't know his uncle, but he mentions that this was in Henryville.
Howdy,
And
folks. This is...
this was in Henrysville, Indiana. The Colonel is not from Kentucky. He was born in Indiana. Where his house once stood, there is a sign that says the house is currently there. It's like, right here, right behind you is Colonel Sanders' house. So I don't know when they tore it down, but it is gone.
I recollect it was a 1908 chain drive Rio. By cracky, those were the good old days, and did I have fun. Why...
I think we're missing something here. Let's go back. It's not as easy to go back as scrubbing
This is Colonel
your
Sanders.
timeline.
And say, that old timer we just heard reminds me of my Uncle Hart. He used to run the general store down in Henryville when I was just a boy in knee breeches. And that motor car that scared the horse sure sounded like the first machine in my hometown. As I recollect, it was a 1908 chain drive Rio. By cracky, those were the good old days, and did I have fun.
Ah, cracky.
Why, I never would have thought way back then that I would be the originator of Kentucky Fried Chicken, North America's hospitality dish. But say, I'd like to have these two lovely girls, Patricia and Carrie, tell you the story. Girls?
All right, Colonel Sanders. That's just what we'll do.
Bye, cracky.
Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken. He has got the trick that makes the chicken taste like chicken should. Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken is the kind of chicken Mother tried to make but never could. When you're picking chicken, pick the chicken that's the best. North, south, east, or west. Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken is the chicken that is finger-licking good, good, good. A colonel from Kentucky who was famous as a cook cooked up a perfect recipe and threw away the book. His name is Colonel Sanders, and his chicken is so great that everybody's eating it in each and every state. Such tender, tasty chicken never saw the light before. Why, no wonder chicken lovers keep on coming back for more. That tantalizing flavor is why everybody flocks to buy it by the bucketful, the barrel, and the box. Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken. He has got the trick that makes the chicken taste like chicken should. Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken is the kind of chicken Mother tried to make but never could. When you're picking chicken, pick the chicken that's the best. North, south, east, or west. Colonel Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken is the chicken that is finger-licking good, good, good.
Thank you, girls. You know, in the old days, we really did have lots of fun. And I'd like to share it with everyone. I call to mind on Sunday, my mother would cook up a big skillet full of chicken.
Of course.
And that took a lot of doing for all of our relations.
Then
Of
she'd
course,
make
today's
burgers.
Sunday dinner, or any other dinner for that matter, is no trick at all with my Kentucky Fried method. But you know Mother's dinners were wonderful. And afterward, we usually went to the band concert in the park.
This is the Wild Cherry Rag. The last one was called Colonel's Cracklins. So I want to tell you about the copyright stuff with this. So this was put out by KFC. So KFC probably owns the copyright on this. My guess is they are not very protective of it because it's generally an advertisement. Colonel's selling the chicken on here. And so I think they kind of want stuff like this out. But there's a couple other things to consider. But they probably own this. They probably don't make an effort to protect it. They probably have zero interest in ever re-releasing this, which is different than if you're playing, a cut from a Michael Jackson song. But there's also melodies that are copywritten. And so if an arrangement or a melody is copywritten, they can also apply it that way. These songs are all well over 100 years old, and these are the original, the original way that they were normally played 100 years ago. But this was recorded in the 70s, so this could be covered by copyright, but I don't think so.
Why, Colonel, that music has spirit.
It sure does. And that was the American Eagle Orchestra, whose average age is 75. Why, come to think of it, that's just as though I
All right. I think he just said that was the American Eagle Orchestra with an R at the end. And then let's just take a listen to this, because this is Colonel's not doing a second take for some reason.
Why, Colonel, that music has spirit.
It sure does. And that was the American Eagle Orchestra, whose average age is 75. Why, come to think of it,
LBJ is
that's
75.
just as though I mean as young as I am. But you know, I almost forgot. My Sunday in the park was never complete without a ride on the old hand-carved merry-go-round. And I always rode on the outside horse, because that's where you could get the brass ring.
Okay, yeah, that's a carousel thing from the old days. They'd have a ring and you could reach out and try to get it. If you got it, I think you got a free ride. He almost sounds like he said the American Eagle Orchestrator. Maybe that's what you call the guy who's the conductor, if it's an orchestra. So it's nice, carousel music. I love carousels. I have a replica of a carousel horse. I'll have to take a picture of it, show you sometime. Maybe we'll do some kind of carousel horse video. I'll put it on the couch behind me. Not even going to say goodbye, Colonel. That's it. That's all we got. There's nothing more. Nothing more from the Colonel. This is not my only Colonel Sanders record. It's also not my only fast food record. I know I have, and we should play it sometime. There was a McDonald's record that every time you played it, it could hit different grooves, I think. And no, I remember the deal. So there's two records I'm thinking of. They're both the floppy type of records that you would get inside of a magazine. So like this record is a little floppy. It's got a little bit of floppiness to it. The records that were older than this were like super breakable. Like you can go like this. If you have a 78 record, you slam it down, like it'll shatter into 100 pieces. But these records that I'm talking about, they would be like inside of a magazine. So they'd be super floppy, like kind of like I want to say like this here. This is kind of what it's like. They're like this kind of floppy. There you go. I was going to say cellophane, but I was like, they don't all get stuck together, But anyway, one of those that I have is a Mad Magazine one. I want to play that for you at some time. It's called Super Spectacular Day. And the plot twist on that one is every time you play it, it has an option of hitting one of like, I think 28 different endings. So that one has that. The McDonald's one actually only had one ending on your record. And so that was that they would sing, McDonald's was 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese. And they try to get through the whole thing. I think they'd say it once and they'd be like, all right, now we're going to try to do it. And they'd all try to do it in unison. And then at some point they would, all fall apart. Like, somebody would say the wrong line and they'd all laugh and they'd say, sorry, you didn't win. But if it went all the way through, you won. But your pressed copy had one ending. I think they did have various endings on that, which is pretty neato. I like this. Colonel Sanders. This was fun to listen to. I'll have to check out other records that I have. All right. Before I go, I have to do the Patreon shout outs since we're just going no edit here, just fresh, raw conversation style, playing records. So these are the people who I say their name because they got the whole thing. They get the $10 a month cool thing in the mail. Jarrett Rusky, Awkward But Awesome, Aaron Wester, Al Archer, Bucky and Oliver. That's a guy on here wanted his pets to be shouted out. So if you sign up, your pets could be shouted out. Carson Loveridge, Dana Snyder, Google that name. Jason Evans, Jamie and Tom, Jen, Matthew Chapin, Mike and Jess, and then my big brother Rob. And he dared me to put it in that way. But that is my actual brother. I put a picture on Patreon of the two of us together because he was down here in the basement hanging out. But that's my older brother, and we were on a cruise ship together. I did a video about the cruise, and we were talking about Patreon, and he's always super supportive, really likes the channel, but we were talking about it like at the table, and he like walks out of the room, and then my phone beeps, and I'm like, and I look, and I was like, wait, why did you sign up? You know, he's my brother. He sees me all the time. He's going to be coming with me to the show I'm doing in Ohio. So, and then I always put these guys on the screen. These are people that pledged $5. And so for $5, you get a postcard from me in the mail. So I write postcards to all of these people. And then I have these really cool envelopes and it's only $9. I'm sending a really cool envelope. It has like 8 items in it. So 8 retro items, you know, like bookmarks, trading cards, like weird reprints of things, really like stuff that you open and you go, oh, that's kind of neat. You know, maybe you hang it on the fridge, maybe you pass it along to somebody else. And then a newsletter. I write a newsletter. So you get a lot of my wisdom, and you get that in the mail. Comes in a nice envelope. I always sign it, say thank you. And then you'll get a postcard as well. So you should go check that out. Go to Patreon, check that out. I'm glad you were here. I hope you're subscribed. I'll see you next time.